This past winter, I was invited to have coffee with a group of ladies. One of them was telling me about her daughter that grows potatoes in greenhouses. I wanted to learn more. Then it just so happens that our Prairie Yard and Garden executive producer, Mike Seahawk, is from Barnesville, home of the famous Potato Days. When he mentioned we should do a show on potatoes, I knew just where to go. I called Sandy Aristad of Valley Tissue Culture, and she agreed to let us come to visit and learn. Welcome.
Thank you, Mary.
Tell us about yourself and your background.
Okay, I grew up in Hancock, Minnesota. I went to NDSU and got a bachelor's degree in home ec ed and extension. I married a potato farmer in '82, and I worked in the potato industry with him, roguing in the field, doing picking up seed in the trucks, grain harvest, anything a normal farm wife would do. The opportunity for this type of a business started in '84. The boys, my husband and his brother, had purchased some seed that had some bacteria in it, and we ended up in a lawsuit. So they knew they had to do something other than purchase seed. They needed to control their own destiny of seed source. So the University of Minnesota never wanted to have this in the university umbrella or the state controlling it. They felt the private industry was where it should go. And the breeder, Dr. Florian Lauer, taught me the tissue culture, all the little things. I had to figure out how to commercialize it. So the first couple years, it was just for our own farm. In '86, I had 4 Minnesota growers that came to me and wanted mini tubers, is what I actually sell. It just evolved from there. '88, we got a business deal with Monsanto with the GMOs, and then in the late '90s, the kids started finishing college, and we built another 4 greenhouses. We have 13 greenhouses total, but all seed potatoes, each variety originating from one test tube. And they're tested for 16 different pathogens. And this year we actually have 126 different varieties.
Sandy, what is meant by tissue culture?
Tissue culture is actually just cloning seed stock or plantlets. So you take a plantlet and you've got different nodes. Every node shoots another plant, or a bud or a leaf or whatever, like on a normal plant. So it's the same with a potato. You take a plantlet and you cut it up into the little sections. You need 1 meristem per. A meristem is a node. It's that little bud between the leaf and the stem, and you put that on sterile media. And the sterile media, it looks like Jell-O. It's just vitamins and like an agar or thickening agent, and it's autoclaved, and we pour it hot in the lab at about 250 degrees and seal it up in our containers, and we put them in the cupboards for 2 to 3 days just to see if we have anything grow on it, because it's high in sugar. That's what they feed on. And we don't ever see anything because of the heat, the process of this, the way we're doing it, and all the containers are clean. So then we use those and put the plantlets in them. So the nodes, and we put 24 in a container, and if one of those nodes get contaminated, it's typically the technician touches the media with the forceps, and you can see it because the ring of the mold or the fungus will just be a circle around that plant. Everybody's human, it's not possible. Back about probably 8 years ago, we tried robots because technically everything's sterile. Even if it touched the media, it was a disaster. And we had to revamp everything, and we went back to humans. The humans could actually cut more. The only thing is the robot could work 24 hours a day. But you still needed a person monitoring the robot, and you still couldn't, so it was a good idea. Good to just confirm how we were doing it is the best, and the system is limited on the human part. And that's why you don't see a lot of these businesses like mine in business. It's just too much work. The technician puts them in the 24. We close it up, we label it to whatever it is, and then that group goes on the growth shelf. And then it's on a light system. It has probably about 14 hours daylight, but the timing of the lights is every 2 hours because the lights create heat, and that heat creates a problem. And it's not so bad when it's really cold out, but when we have 90 degrees outside and we're trying to cool everything, everything freezes up. And then especially with humidity and everything like that. So we've put everything on a two hours of light, 2 hours off to keep the heat down in the rooms. Plants at this stage of the tissue culture growing only need 8 to 12 hours of light probably. You know, we maybe push it a little bit more to try to encourage it to grow more. One container makes 3 containers, which makes 9 containers. You know, pretty soon you can't keep up. And with that, we can control the temperature in the room and the light to try to help us keep in step with it. But when we're ready to plant, everybody looks at, oh my God, we have days and weeks we're behind. But we got to plant too, and you can't just pull somebody off the street and say, oh, come and help. Because the plants are so little, it's a touchy-feely thing. And if you break them off when you plant them, you lost it. And the idea is to have as close to 100% stand in the greenhouse as possible, because that's where your production is. Each plant will only produce 3 to 4 tubers. You can never get more than that. And partly is because we only use 4 inches of soil. And partly is that's what it is with a tissue culture plant.
How do the plants get from the plastic containers out to here?
We put them in a box and they're sealed up. So we'll put them in a box, haul them in, and you put about 100 plants in a tub that's 2 by 4, and they're all about 2 inches apart. And we're looking for quantity, not size. The farmer wants to plant as whole a seed as possible. So every variety has their own maturity. Some have 60 days, some have 70, 80, 90. So we group them in anything less than 90 to 100, and then anything over 100 days. You just let them do their thing.